So you guys, I wanted to weigh in what happened this past Wednesday of a 17-year-old student that was stabbed to death at at a Texas school in a track meet. His name was Austin Metcalf, 17-year-old, 4.0 grade average, had his whole future, his whole life ahead of him. Come from a great family, a twin brother, and his life was cut way too short because some student, another 17-year-old, Karmelo Anthony, decided to stab him because Austin asked him to move. You were sitting in the wrong seat. And he got so upset, so volatile, that he just stabbed the kid in the heart. Like, why? Like, was that necessary? Was that a need to do that? And first of all, why is he carrying a knife at school? First of all. And second of all, that was not even his school, supposedly. He didn't even attend that school. So what was the whole reason why he was there? Is it because he had a friend that he knew at the school and then they were just, he was just hanging out with the friend because, it was a track meet? We don't know yet, but that's the only explanation I can think of. If you don't belong or attend that school, you shouldn't be there. Now, I don't want the press, the media to make it a political debate or a race thing because it's not a race thing, okay? It was about a young 17-year-old boy, Karmelo Anthony, took another 17-year-old boy, Austin Metcalf's life for no apparent reason because this kid asked this other kid to move because he was sitting in the wrong seat. This all could have been prevented. But no, it seemed like this kid had I don't know, a violent streak or he was just angry to the point that he had to stab Austin in the heart for no apparent reason. It's just disgusting. It's just upset. And then we need fathers to be present, to be active in the household because this is just ridiculous. Now, I don't know if his father was present in his life. I don't know if his father was active in his life, but it seemed like he was just so angry that for him to do that. And the fact of the matter is that he carried a knife with him. And this has to stop. Parents need to be more present in their child's life, especially young boys. Fathers, men, to raise men to not to take another person's life because they don't have that right. They don't have a say to take another person, another human being's life. That's God. God gives, God takes. Okay? He doesn't, I don't have a right. You don't have a right to take someone's life, an innocent life, because someone asks you nicely to move that you're sitting in the wrong seat. That's just crazy to me. This all shouldn't have happened in the first place. Never should happen. And two parents lost out of this. One parent lost a son. Another parent lost his son as well because that 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, he's going to spend the rest of his days in prison. Okay, they're going to charge him as an adult, rightfully so, because he had no business carrying a knife, first of all. Second of all, he had no right stabbing an innocent 17-year-old boy who asked him to move because he was sitting in the wrong seat. So both parents' lives are ruined, which is sad, very sad. And I'm praying for both families. I really am because no parent should go through this. No parent should bury a son. Okay, it should be the other way around. We should be burying our parents, not the parents burying our child. And this whole teenager boy, Austin Metcalf, had his whole life ahead of him. Very bright, very smart. Again, come from a Christian home, a loving home, respected home. And his life cut off way too soon. Way too soon. For something so stupid. So stupid and so ridiculous because Karmelo Anthony, pardon me, didn't want to move. They want to do the right, honorable thing and move. And say, you know what, my bad, I'm sorry, I'm just going to move over there. But no, he got so angry and so hostile that he just stabbed this kid for no reason. Utterly disgusted. Again, who is raising this kid? Who was raising this kid? Again, who was the parents there? Was his father active or present in his life? That's the most important thing. That's the key. Instead of using the race card or using the political debate, because it's none of those two whatsoever. None. Okay? It's about a 17-year-old student taking the life of another 7-year-old student for something so stupid and dumb. And the fact of the matter is that his twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, died in his arms. Can you imagine having your siblings die in your arms, and you trying to stop the bleeding? You trying to do whatever you can to save your other half, your sibling, your brother. Can you imagine? My heart breaks for the brother because they were identical twins. They were like the same. I seen pictures. I'm like, oh my, I can't even tell which is who. I really can't. And it's very sad and very devastated that the parents are going through this. And I have to commend the father. I believe his name is Jeff Metcalf. He already forgave that kid. He already forgave him. And as a Christian, we do have to forgive because we don't want that burden, that hatred in our hearts, and we don't want to give that person that satisfaction. So I commend the father for giving Karmelo Anthony right away. Me personally, as a Christian, not so much. I'm just going to be quite honest. If someone took my child, my nieces, pardon me, I don't think I would forgive right away. Will I ever eventually forgive? Yes, absolutely, because that's what God wants me to do, but not right away. It's in my opinion, it's just too soon if it was for me. But I commend the Father for doing that. He had his reasons why he did what he did to forgive. Me personally, I wouldn't forgive right away. But as Christians, we do have to forgive because we don't want that bitterness. We don't want that hatred. We don't want that to take over and give that person that satisfaction. And on top of that, we're not forgiving them for them. We're forgiving it for ourselves. And some people get that really confused. Oh, you just forgive that person right away? Not for him, for us, for our salvation. So we can have peace. You don't think that is hurting the father, the mother, the brother? Of course it is. Of course it is. They just lost someone most important to them in their life. You know what I mean? That their son is never coming home. Their son is never coming back. Their son is never going to graduate from high school, go to college, start college football, probably who would be in the NBA. We don't know. We don't know what the future was for him. But what I do know, by his father speaking, seemed like he was a very smart young kid. That his future was bright, and it was cut way too short for over something so stupid by the other kid. Way too short, and it's not fair, and it's not right. And there need to be some accountability. They really do. They need to be more present fathers that's absent to be more present in the household, because we don't have that. It seemed like, because we just have like young angry boys just want to act up, start violence, start picking fights for no apparent reason, and it all comes from the household. I'm sorry to say, it comes from the household. It comes from how you are raised. The fact of the matter is, it really is. If you have an absent father and that's this in and out in your life, there's no stability. There's none at all. So then, yeah, the young boys are going to find love or find a father figure somewhere else because the father is not present, and the father needs to take accountability of it. You know, the father was like saying, "Oh, you know, my son is a good kid. He's a good boy." Really? He took another kid's life. So how is he a good boy? Were you present in his life? Were you there? Were you active in his life? That's the real question. Because if he was such a good kid and a good boy, he wouldn't take another kid's life. If another kid told him, "Excuse me, you're sitting in the wrong seat," the normal thing to do is like, "Okay, I'm sorry, move and sit somewhere else." Not to react with anger and rage and stab someone cold-bloodedly. Okay? That was rage right there. What got him so angry for him to do that? It's utterly disgusting. I'm disgusted by this because an innocent person was taken way too soon for something so foolish and ridiculous like that. And the fact of the matter is, both parents lost. You know, both parents don't win at this. There's no winners. There's no losers because they both lost their sons. One is never coming back, and the other one's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. His life is done, gone, finished, because he took their life. There's no way to slice it or dice it, you guys. His life is done. Okay, we will never know what motivated him to do that. You know, because he's still a minor. Maybe, you know, once he turns 18, he can shed some light to all of us. You know, why he did what he did, why he stabbed an innocent 17-year-old boy. Like, what possessed him to do that? And obviously, we won't know right away, unless, you know, He tells his lawyer, or his parents get a lawyer for him because he's still a minor. He's 17. He's not 18 yet. He's not legal, but they will charge him as an adult, rightfully so. If you grown to carry a knife and take someone else's life, you grown to go to prison for the rest of your last dying days. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you need to get repentance from God and forgiveness for what you did, and apologize to the parents, to the Metcalf family, because their life will never be the same again, ever, because you took something so precious, so beautiful away from them by your reaction of what you did. And there's consequences for your action. There really is. And you have to pay for your consequences, and get down on your knees and ask God for forgiveness for what you did. And ask for the parents' forgiveness and say you're sorry for what you have done. Because what you have done was cruel and reckless. And now everyone is going to be mourning of this young teenager boy, mourning of his loss and his death. And it's so sad, and it's so unfortunate too. And I'm just so tired of, I keep seeing this. This keeps happening and happening and happening. Um, young boys and girls are just being taken way too soon when they had their whole life ahead of them. Whole life ahead of them. Taken way too soon because something so foolish and stupid when they could have been easily fixed. Just move. Just move. So I blame the parents, okay, because where were they? This is how you raise your son to be? I'm sorry. Like, to take another life, to be an animal like that? The parents need to take accountability. Like, what went wrong? What went wrong with their son? Were they very active with their son? Were they like engaging? I don't know. I don't live in that household, but I'm very curious. What made that angry 17-year-old boy take another kid's life and have a knife, to bring a knife into school, in the high school? Let me know your thoughts about this, and please comment and let me know what you think about this. And my heart goes out to the Metcalf family and also to the Anthony's family as well, because both parents lost their sons. They really did. And I'm going to continue praying that they get the strength and that they need to get through this, because no parents deserve this. No parent should be burying their child at all, whatsoever. And that's all I have to say about that. So let me know your thoughts about this, and thank you so much for watching and listening as well. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.